and welcome back to the next episode of Talks with Ken, unpacking life situations together. So, no therapy this week. I go Friday. And I still don't know what I want to talk to her about, but we'll figure it out. So I know last episode I talked about me feeling disconnected and the things that caused me to feel disconnected. I don't know if I've ever explained why I felt disconnected. I know I explained like last year around this time I got disconnected for, financial reasons, mental health reasons, like all of that. But I don't think I explained why. So the reason for the disconnect, and I just actually kind of put two and two together as I'm like sitting here and I'm thinking, I think another part of me too is the part of the disconnection was I felt like I was always pouring into people and not pouring into myself. I have a habit of helping people and being there for them and fulfilling a need that they express that they need or help or whatever. And I've always noticed that either I don't get that reciprocation when I need something or need help or whatever the case may be, or I burn myself out to where I just don't feel like dealing with people in general. I've also learned about myself that me being so selfless, and this isn't even to brag, me being selfless for people that I care about, sometimes it could be a bit overwhelming and it could be a bit too much, because I'm the type of person that take on other people's problems. Like, I internalize other people's problems, especially if I care about you. Like, if I care about you, there's nothing that I won't do for you. I won't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're my person, you're my people. And I think this season for me is to be selfish, and not in a bad way of being selfish. It's just pour into me. I spoke last time in the last episode, like me losing motivation for my business and me losing motivation for a couple of things. And I think that's because I don't know myself. I have no idea who I am outside of being a mom. I don't know. I identify as literally when I pick Daniel up is Daniel's mom, or hi Daniel's mom, or hey mom, or this. It's never me as an individual. Like, granted, I knew when I became a parent I would lose some sense of individuality, but I completely lost my sense of individuality because I have a child that now I have to cater to and care, well, not cater to in a sense, but like cater to, take care of, be there for, teach, be a role model, like all of these things that I have to do now. And it's not easier when you're doing it by yourself. I don't have a village like most people do. Like, don't get me wrong, I have my mom, I have my sister, and in the past, when he was a baby and stuff like that, they have watched him for me to go to work and things like that. But if I remember I was off of work one day, and this is when my son was still in daycare. I remember when I was off of work one day, and I still took him to daycare because I'm like, I never have time to myself. It's not like I can go out at night because I don't have family, or I don't have close friends that'll be like, oh yeah, I'll watch him while you go out with your friends. I don't have that. And I remember dropping him off at daycare. I think running my errands. I think I planned something with one of my friends, like while he was in daycare, and we did something. And then I remember my mom calling me around maybe 2 or 3. I don't know. It had to be close to when she was getting off of work. And she like asked me what was I doing, or called to check on Daniel or something like that, to that effect. And I said, I'm on my way to pick him up. She was like, well, you shouldn't have dropped him off. You're off today. He could be at home with you. And I'm like, no, I need a break. I need me time. And her response was, you're a mom, you don't get me time. And I was just like, that kind of irritated me. And this is when he was like younger. So like, now as he's getting older and he's gaining his independence and all of this, I love that, but I still don't have that village. Like if I were to say, hey, I want to go on a date and we're meeting here at 7:00, I don't have anybody to watch my kids. So dating is actually very hard when it comes to for me. I don't know how other single moms operate, but for me it's hard because it's just like it gets to a point where you do date, you explain your situation, and then the guy 9 times out of 10 kind of gets tired of that situation because it's just like, I don't want to stifle what I got going on. I don't want to live in a box in a sense, because you have certain restrictions as a mom and nobody is faulting you for it, but this is not what I want my dating life to look like. And then it's just like, all right, now we're back at square one, where it's just like, okay, do I even want to date? Do I even want to attempt to date? And it's just like, why bother? So I think for me, I've kind of given up on that in a sense. But I think I just need to be selfish when it comes to things, like when it comes to me. Like, I overextend myself, and I know I overextend myself. I overextend myself. I have a bad habit of asking what other people's opinions are. I have a bad habit of taking on other people's problems like they're my own. I really have a bad habit of, offering to help at that. Like, sometimes don't offer. If somebody, and I have to learn this, like, if somebody wants your help, they're going to ask you for it instead of just sitting there and telling you their problems A through Z, hoping you'll offer. No, if you want help, open your mouth and you say something. Don't just be like, oh, well, I need, this is going on in my life and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, no, stop offering. So I think for me right now, if we're going to describe the era that I'm in, it's selfishness. It's all about me. Obviously, it's all about me and Daniel. But, like, all about me, like, redefining who I am as a mom, redefining who I am as a woman, redefining who I am as a person. Like, learning what my interests are, learning, what I like and dislike. When I think back to, like, before I was a mom, and when I think back to, before I became a mom, I was the type of girl where, I think I've said this in one of my episodes, where my hair was always done. Doing hair was my happy place, okay? And I think I'm now getting back to that, because I'm like experimenting with new hairstyles and trying different things and trying to learn different techniques. And then as far as my business is concerned, I'm revamping it for the new year. Like, even though I can make a lot of money on Black Friday, it's not ready yet. And I'm trying to rework it, and I'm reworking it to what fits my life and how I operate in my day-to-day life. In my day-to-day life, I want that to reflect in the things that I sell and the work that I do when it comes to me selling hair. I'm doing my podcast. I've been saying I wanted to do this podcast for 2.5 years, and I'm finally doing it. Like, I felt like I needed somebody to do a podcast, and I really don't, because I talk a lot anyway. I ramble, but I talk a lot anyway. It's just, I just need to stick to a topic and go from there. But I feel like and I don't think this episode is going to be that long, but for anybody that's like wondering and trying to figure out like what it is and why they feel like they're disconnected, maybe you're giving too much of yourself. Maybe you are overextending yourself to people that aren't reciprocating the same energy. I know for me that if I care about you, even if you don't reciprocate that energy and I care about you that much, I'll still help you. I have a really, 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 really bad habit also of noticing the non-reciprocation, noticing the non-consideration, noticing the non-consistency of others, noticing the lack of communication in others. Like, I have a bad habit of noticing all of that and still trying to go above and beyond for people because I care about them. And I feel like just like you have to love somebody from a distance, you also have to care about them from a distance. Because it's just like, a lot of people use the fact that they care about you no, a lot of people use the fact that you care about them to their advantage, and they see that. They see the type of heart you have, they see the type of, care you have for them, and they unfortunately weaponize that. So I think for me, what I'm learning and what I'm trying to figure out and what I'm trying to navigate is my emotional control and my sense of self, because those are two things that I don't have. I actually, though, as far as my emotional control goes, I've actually been doing very, very well, because a lot of people have been pissing me off lately. Now, granted, I am about to start my period, so I get like real irritated around my period anyway. But I actually have been controlling my mouth. Like, even at work, when I don't want to talk, I let them know, like, hey, nobody did anything. Nobody pissed me off. I'm just in one of my moods. I'm probably about to start my period. I just don't want to talk. And sometimes people take that and they be like, okay, cool, I can respect it. And some people want to pull out of you like, what's wrong? And it's like, there's nothing wrong. I just don't feel like engaging with people. We all have those days where we don't feel like engaging with people. Leave me the hell alone, and then you won't have me yell at you. But I'm excited. Like, and I stepped out of my comfort zone. I went to a coffee shop. I was at that coffee shop for almost 3 hours. I am proud of myself. I sat there. I worked on my website. I took some things off. I added some things. I'm still working on it. I'm going to a coffee shop. I was gonna go today, but I was like, this stuff I kind of need to get done at home in the comfort of my own home. Plus, I haven't been to sleep at all, so I would rather just do this at home. But tomorrow I am, and my goal is to try different coffee shops to see like what I like and what I don't like. And I love that for me, because I said I want to do it. I think for me too, me being selfish is not announcing when I'm going to do something or what I want to do. It's me doing it, and then after I do it, then you announce it, right? When I noticed that when I announce things beforehand, I tend to not do them because I end up getting the opinions of other people. And honestly, them opinions don't matter. Even though they're your close friends and you want their opinion, you value their opinion, that's awesome. But I've learned that when it comes to things that I want and the things that I like and the things that I want to do, just because I like them don't mean everybody else will. So I can't base what I do and how I move off of the opinions of my friends. Just because they wouldn't don't mean that it's wrong for me. So I had to learn that too, to stop announcing every damn thing. It's not called for. Stop announcing it. Announce it when you feel like it's ready. Announce it when you've put in the work. Announce it when you've put in your blood, sweat, and tears, and you've created this masterpiece, and it's everything that you imagined it would be. That is what I envision for myself. I envision for myself new heights, new goals, new experiences, new moments. Like, that is what I want for myself. That is what I want for my son. I don't want my son to, feel like he has to hold himself back because he has to worry about the opinion of others. No. If this is what you want to do, do it. It's only two things. You either win or you lose. You fail or you succeed. Like, so I think for me, it's the selfish girl era that I'm in. And I think too, in me being in this selfish girl era, I will find the softness in myself. Because I've talked about this before. Men aren't the end all be all to your softness. Yes, they can make you exude more femininity than you've exuded before based off how they treat you and how they handle you. Yes. But again, it starts with you. You are the end all be all to the beginning of you being a soft girl. I'm very aggressive in nature. And it's not purposeful. Well, kind of it is. It's not purposeful with everybody. It kind of just comes off that way because depending on what we're talking about, I'm just passionate about what we're talking about, or I'm passionate about the point I'm trying to get across. Or you piss me off and now I have to show you better than I can tell you. And the only way that can happen is if I'm aggressive with you. So I am working on that. I don't have to be aggressive all the time. I don't have to be very like rah. And I'm learning too, like I said and before, not everything needs a damn response. Like, I'll make a look. If somebody catch my look, they catch my look. If they don't catch my look, then hey, you don't catch my look. But everything doesn't need a response. You don't have to, just make everything a moment. I think I'm becoming I'm becoming calm. Like, granted, I'm still human. I'm gonna make mistakes, but like, I'm learning within myself to, one, trust my own instincts of what I feel like I should do. I'm learning to trust my instincts. I'm learning to trust my gut. I'm learning to trust my own opinion about something. And if it doesn't seem right, or if I have to keep questioning it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't it doesn't need to, I don't know how to explain it, but it doesn't need to come to fruition. That's what it is. So yeah, it's just all about that. I feel like this episode I was rambling a lot, and I think I made sense, but I don't know if I made sense. But if I did make sense, thank you very much for listening. But today's quote, to end on a positive note: be more selfish. If you're a giver, always looking out for others, always feeling drained because you break yourself so others can stay together, take a break from it. Add value to your own life first. Add self-love and peace to your life first. S. McNutt. I think I've said a quote from them before. But I agree with that. I feel like in order for you to grow, you have to water yourself. And I feel like you can't be the best version of you, especially if you're a parent. You can't be the best version of you for your kid if you're always drained and overwhelmed and frustrated because you are watering other people. Water yourself first, grow first, and then I feel like when you do that, you'll attract the right people. So that is the end of this episode. I hope you all were able to take something from it. I know I was. Because even talking, I was, realizing a lot of things as well. So thank you guys so much for watching and listening. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.